Welcome to another episode on Red Watch TV. In today's deep dive, we delve into the complex and controversial figure of Patriarch Kirill Gundyaev, the head of the Russian Orthodox Church. Navigating the turbulent waters of Russian politics, religion, and society, Kirill's story is one of power, influence, and a series of contentious allegations. From purported ties to the KGB to commanding one of the richest Orthodox clergies in the world, his narrative weaves a tangled web through the very heart of Russia's social fabric. Yet, it is not just his past that's under scrutiny. His recent role in the escalating conflict in Ukraine has sparked heated debates and international outcry. By supporting the Russian incursion, he has found himself at the crossroads of spirituality and political power, raising poignant questions about the role of a spiritual leader in the modern world. Join us as we unravel the layers of Kirill's story, dissecting his origins, his influence, and the controversies that have embroiled him. As always, we look forward to your insights and discussion in the comments below. Let's begin. In the panoramic expanse of Russia's religious and political landscape, one figure stands prominently: Kirill Gundyaev, the Patriarch of Moscow and all of Russia. Born into a lineage of clergymen, Gundyaev's path from the onset was one steeped in spirituality. Yet his narrative transcends the confines of traditional religious devotion, intersecting with the complex political realities of Russia's past. Consider the evidence uncovered by Russian parliamentary commissions in the post-Soviet era. Their investigations into the clandestine operations of the KGB, the principal security agency for the Soviet Union, led to startling revelations. A shroud of mystery surrounds an agent codenamed Mikhailov, suspected to be none other than Gundyaev himself. This alleged alliance between the Church and the KGB suggests the possibility of a reciprocal relationship between the Church and state during the Soviet era. Nonetheless, Gundyaev's ecclesiastical ascent was nothing short of meteoric. He earned the honorific title of the Metropolitan of Smolensk and Kaliningrad on February 25, 1991. His spiritual journey culminated in his election as the Patriarch of Moscow and all of Russia on January 27, 2009, marking the apogee of the Russian Orthodox Church. The realm of Patriarch Kirill extends far beyond the ecclesiastical world. His significance in the social, political, and cultural life of Russia and beyond is substantial and undeniable. Cyril Brett, a research associate on Russia and Eastern Europe at the Jacques Delors Institute, views him as a public figure who has been at the forefront of the critical issues in Russian society since the Soviet era. His influence, however, is not limited to Russia alone. As the head of the world's largest and wealthiest Orthodox community, Kirill commands an international presence that reverberates throughout the global Orthodox community. Interestingly, Kirill's power and influence transcend his spiritual role. Even without an official state role, he has carved a significant place for himself within Russia's power structures. His astute intellect, political savvy, and eloquent public speaking have marked him as a compatible ally to the Russian establishment, a trait that resonates with the likes of Vladimir Putin. His intricate political affiliations continue to fuel debates about the extent of his political involvement. He enjoys close ties with the conservative branch of the United Russia Presidential Party and maintains a close relationship with figures like Dmitry Medvedev and Vladimir Putin. His relationships, however, veer towards professionalism and mutual interest, rather than personal affinity. In the world of spiritual leadership, it's not uncommon for leaders to personify modesty and austerity. Yet, Russia's Patriarch Kirill presents a contrasting narrative that seems to deviate from these norms. There are persistent stories of the Patriarch's affinity for luxury, which starkly challenge the widely accepted image of ecclesiastical simplicity. Photographs have circulated of him cruising aboard an extravagant yacht, while other reports discuss a high-priced watch, its value estimated to be between 20 to 25,000 euros, adorning his wrist. These instances not only stand at odds with the expected austere lifestyle of his position, but also stir skepticism and disappointment among some Orthodox worshippers. This perception of Patriarch Kirill as a man of power, comfortable amidst opulence, contrasts sharply with other global spiritual figures. One notable comparison often brought up is Pope Francis, who has become a symbol of humility and simplicity within the Catholic Church. The juxtaposition between these two figures raises probing questions about the financial workings of the Russian Orthodox Church and the personal wealth of its patriarch. The Patriarchate of Kirill has not been a journey without turbulence. A significant part of the criticism surrounding him is his public and unequivocal endorsement of governmental policies, even those wrapped in controversy. His open support for Russia's military campaign in Syria from 2015 has drawn both domestic and international attention, highlighting the intertwined relationship between the Orthodox Church and the state within the context of Russian politics. The most potent manifestation of this complex relationship can be seen in the backdrop of Russia's recent invasion of Ukraine. Patriarch Kirill's sermons have consistently voiced fervent support for the Russian troops while denouncing the Ukrainian authorities. His affirmations, particularly his assertion that those killed while executing their military duty have committed a sacrificial act, effectively absolving all sins, have ignited fierce debates. These remarks, deemed inflammatory by some, have resulted in international backlash and criticism, further spotlighting the Patriarch's controversial role in this geopolitical conflict. The Russian invasion of Ukraine in February was a tumultuous moment that split the global Orthodox community. At the heart of this schism was Patriarch Kirill, whose stance on the conflict became a source of growing consternation and disagreement. Despite the bloodshed and turmoil unfolding in Ukraine, Patriarch Kirill firmly sided with President Putin's choices, thus tying the Russian Orthodox Church's reputation to the actions of the Russian state. His sermons not only blessed the Russian troops, but also denounced the Ukrainian authorities, creating a narrative of holy war that fueled tensions on both sides. Perhaps the most controversial of his statements came in a sermon delivered on February 27, 2022. The head of the Russian Orthodox Church cast those resisting the historical unity of Russia and Ukraine as forces of evil. This pointed rhetoric, together with his assertion that those fulfilling their military duty through the ultimate sacrifice were cleansed of all sins, sparked severe backlash. As the conflict between Russia and Ukraine intensified, the international community's focus on Patriarch Kirill sharpened. In particular, his characterization of the war and the ensuing casualties evoked strong responses. His position not only fractured the Orthodox community, but also led to political repercussions. Following Russia's invasion, about 400 parishes of the Orthodox Church of Ukraine severed ties with the Russian Orthodox Church, signaling their dissent with the Patriarch's stance. The Western world was not silent either. Britain imposed sanctions against Patriarch Kirill in June as part of their efforts to hold Moscow accountable for the war in Ukraine. This measure was taken even as the EU withdrew a similar proposal due to opposition from Hungary, a Russia-friendly bloc member. Patriarch Kirill's role in the Ukraine conflict, his alleged past as a KGB agent, and his wealth have sparked much debate about the nature of spiritual leadership and its place in politics. What do you think about his role and influence? How do you see the intertwining of religion and politics in Russia's context? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thanks for joining us for this episode of Red Watch TV. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons below, and we look forward to seeing you next time.